Okay, so Vishnu, so you want to give the snap of the software engineering and web tech, right? So
Yes,
can
sir.
you just tell me in software engineering, actually why we read software engineering and what is the importance of software engineering?
Okay. Sir, software engineering is the approach for using multiple software engineering techniques to develop a software product, starting from the gathering of requirements to the design, to the development, and to the maintenance of a software.
Okay. So in maintenance phase, what we are trying to do?
Sir, we have multiple different variations of maintenance. One is corrective maintenance. Here we try to solve the bug which comes up in the software. We have perfective maintenance where we try to create new functionalities in the system. We have preventive maintenance where we want to try to like prevent our system for like any future bugs which might come up. There is a adaptive maintenance where we try to or port our software to a new environment.
And what is the basic difference between verification and validation?
Okay. Sir, verification is basically the testing of software during the development of the software in different phases. So whenever like we finish with one phase, then we verify that whether we are building the product in a right way. But validation only comes up when we develop the software and it is finished and we are now testing, and the goal is to test whether we have built a right software according to the requirement.
Okay. So we have like different models. We heard about the different models. So what is waterfall model?
Okay. So waterfall model is a very basic model which has some stages. Okay. Starting from the feasibility study, then we have the requirement analysis and specification, design phase, coding and unit testing, integration and system testing, and maintenance phase.
Okay, okay. And what is spiral model?
Sorry, spiral model is another kind of model which is basically mostly used whenever the product has some kind of risk associated with it. Okay, so it has four stages. The first stage is to determine and identify the objectives of the like product which we are going to build. The next phase is to resolve those risks, and the third phase is to build the next version of the product, and the fourth phase is to like verify it with the customer, and likewise this cycle like keeps on going. That's why it is like a spiral.
Okay, okay. And what is increment model? Incremental model?
uh, Sir, incremental model. Okay. Sir, in incremental model, what we do is we don't develop the product at one go. Instead, we develop one model at a time incrementally.
So what is the advantage of this then?
Okay. So let's say our customer are not sure about the requirement. Okay. So in that case, what we can do is whatever like feedback they have given us, on that feedback, we will develop some functionalities and we will show the demo to the customer, and they will give some feedback on that. And as well as they can give us the feedback for new functionalities. And again, we will work on it and we will again develop it in the next module.
Okay. So is there any particular difference between program and software?
Yes, sir. Sir, basically a program, we know that it is a set of instructions which is used to solve a problem, right? It is kind of a very small entity. But a software, it consists of multiple programs. It consists of a documentation as well. So a software, as for example, sir, we have Microsoft Office. That is one software. Inside Microsoft Office, you can insert an image. That can be example of a program, sir.
Very good, very good. And what about the cohesion and coupling? Actually, what is our requirement in daily basis? High cohesion, high coupling, low cohesion, high coupling. What is the relationship?
Okay. Sir, basically a module should have high cohesion, which will tell us about the functional strength of the module. and it should have low coupling, which should tell us about that our modules are not like interconnected with each other. They should be loosely
So
coupled,
what
sir.
is the problem if our modules are interconnected? Then what is the problem?
Okay. So let's say one of our module is not working properly, and it will affect the other module as well. So we
Okay,
should not be dependent.
okay. Very good, very good. So we are trying to like to make our module as much as independent as.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you tell me about the testing phase?
Yes, sir. Sir, we have unit testing, we have integration testing, we have system testing. They are all different levels of testing. And in each level, we have other multiple types of testing as well. As for example, in system testing, we have alpha testing, we have beta testing, we have acceptance testing.
Right. And we have some black box and white box testing. What
Yes,
is it?
these are two different approaches of testing as well. We have white box testing, where we actually go through the code and we check if there is something wrong or not. We do the code walkthrough, we do the code review in that phase. And in black box testing, we just test the functionality of the software. We don't have to like go through the code as well.
So what is cookies?
Sir, sorry, sir, can you repeat again?
What is cookie?
Okay, cookie. Sir, cookie is some set of information which is stored in the browser.
Where we can store these cookies, like in the primary memory, in the secondary memory, in the register, in the cache. What?
Sir, it is stored in the local storage of the web browser.
Okay. Like web browser, local storage browser is again a function, na? Set of functions.
Yes, sir.
And it requires the memory.
Sir, browser also uses some kind of memory, but I don't think that is a primary memory itself. But during the time when user is accessing the web browser, we load the cookie. We might load the cookie into the main memory, because ultimately, when you are loading the web browser, your web browser is in the main memory itself, sir, right? So ultimately, it is there itself. But
So
again, we
which type of data we are trying to store into cache?
where, sir, in the
Cache memory.
sir, can you repeat again?
Cache, or
Cache
whatever.
memory. Okay. Okay. Sir, I will give you one example. Okay. Let's say user is accessing the website, and he is accessing some images or some sections frequently. Okay. So if we are not using cache, then user will keep on requesting the web server, and web server will keep on serving the same request again and again. So this information we can store in the cache memory, so that user can get this data directly from the cache and don't have to request again and again to the web server.
Okay. What is the major difference between client side and server side programming?
Okay. So client side mostly deals with the user interface section. Okay. Where we mostly deal with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We structure our web page, we design our web page, and we dynamically like modify the content using JavaScript. But backend deals with the business logic part of section. It interacts with the database and interacts with some mail servers. So all this business logic, it is
What
done
is
with the
API? What is API?
okay. So API stands for Application Programming Interface, and it provides us with some functionalities which we can access. I can give you some one example. Let's say you want to book flight ticket. Okay. So at that point of time, we will be calling the API to check the status, that how many tickets are available at this point of time. So API, to access the API, we can also provide security using some tokens. So we can pass on the token and call the API, and it will give us the result. And the way of exchanging the data format, it can be either in XML format, it can be in JSON format. We have SOAP API format, we have REST API format.
Okay. No, so what is the requirement of API? Like if I want to book a ticket, then I just enter and browse the Air India website and then check there. Then what is the need of API?
Okay, sir. Okay.
According to their database, like we
Yes, sir,
can.
definitely. Sir, let's say we want to like we can also directly book the like ticket from Air India. Okay, but let's say we want to use some third party platform. There are multiple third party platforms as well. So this Air India, what they have done is they have created some APIs and they've like given it to multiple third-party vendors. So now those vendors they can use this API on their website itself.
So, so what do you think about the Java JS and the React? What is the difference between JS and React?
Okay, sir, React.js is actually based on JavaScript itself. It is a library. Okay, but when we write the code in JavaScript, it is a core JavaScript. We have to write everything from the scratch itself. So in terms of development, it will take much time to develop a functionality in JavaScript than it will take in React.js, because React.js already gives you some functionality, some basic functionalities, right?
Right,
So it
right,
helps
right.
us in faster development.
What is DOM?
Okay, sir. Let's say
What is
we
the
have
full form of DOM?
document object model, sir.
Right.
It's
What is
kind of
that?
a it is kind of a tree architecture, sir. Let's say you have one HTML element. It will have a body. It will have a head. Let's say it has some paragraph and header text as well. Okay. So all those of elements are represented as a node, as a document. Let's say as a document. And now using JavaScript, we can directly interact with these nodes. That's why from JavaScript we interact with this DOM. So that's why we call it DOM, sir.
ठीक है. So okay, Vishnu, moving towards the feedback part as usual. आपका जो experience है that is completely reflecting in your answers. So I think you are going to be selected. I don't know why they reject you. If they are going to reject you, it means they are unlucky. They are losing one important asset. Fine. So great, Vishnu. Your
Thank you, sir.
preparation is awesome, and the way you are delivering the answer by just explaining and by like just demonstrating with the example, it's literally awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay,
Thank you so
Vishnu.
much, sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
great, great, Vishnu.